This is the Guardians of the Galaxy, and so is this, and yet one is so much better than the other. And this isn't the only time when adaptation was better than the original. That's why today I'm presenting to you 3 comic book adaptations that people say are better than the OG comics they're based on, and deciding whether that's true or pure comic book heresy. Starting off with one adaptation that fits this topic perfectly, Logan. This one's interesting because it's one of the loosest adaptations ever. The only visible connections between Logan and Old Man Logan by Mark Millar and Steve McNiven are that Wolverine is elderly, there are few heroes left, there's a road trip, and yeah, that's just about it. The original comics were obviously awesome and one of the best Wolverine stories ever written, even if it does get some slack for going overboard with the violence. It also works great as a what-if story when detached from canon. But Logan accomplishes the same thing in better ways. Everything Old Man Logan does outside of cameos, Logan improves upon. And it has the added bonus of an actual emotional punch. Like, I felt more sad for the random family Logan stayed with than I did for the actual family he had in Old Man Logan. And Logan thankfully doesn't have some of the freakier aspects like Hulk incest. If you know, you know. So for this one, I agree that the adaptation is definitely better. But I'm not sure if that's the case with the next on our list, Captain America Civil War. Civil War, by the same guys who made Old Man Logan, is much closer to its comic adaptation, both featuring a superhero incident that causes civilian deaths and leads to a government registration act. Heroes split, friendships break, and tragedy follows. I'm going to be upfront, this one's a flip of a coin for me. Both are superb, emotionally powerful, and deal with real themes like individual freedom versus collective accountability. The main difference for me is the scale. The comics had over 40 years worth of characters, locations, and relationships to use, making it feel like a grand civil war, whereas the movie only had 8 years, so it feels more like civil fight. But that's not a bad thing. So it depends on what you want. If you want an epic scale event, it's definitely the comics. But if you want a more personal and emotional ride, go for the movie. Tell me which one you prefer in the comments. The next adaptation, absolute masterpiece. Avengers Subscribe Day. You know, the one where RDJ plays the subscribe button that you should totally hit right now. But seriously, the last on our list is the Spiderverse trilogy, or duology for now. Like Logan, these movies are also loosely connected to their comic counterparts. The main similarities between Into and Across the Spider-Verse and the Spider-Verse comics by Dan Slott is that Spider people from the multiverse team up to fight something big. The original Spider-Verse comics were fun mini-events, perfect for Spidey fans. But the Spider-Verse movies aren't just fun. These movies redefine what superhero movies can be. When I left the theater, all I could say was,
it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
The story, the themes, the animation, everything is flawless. Don't even get me started on the music. If it wasn't for YouTube copyright, I'd be blasting Sunflower or Am I Dreaming right now. Oh, and unlike the comics, the sequels don't suck. At least, I hope part 3 doesn't. I honestly don't care what comic this is based on. These movies carved their own story and legacy. One is so obviously better than the other, and that's the adaptation. You know, when you look at all of this, it makes you thankful that adaptations exist. They can improve the source material and create something new and beautiful. But we can't forget that for every masterpiece like Spider-Verse, there's some nonsense like Thor: Love and Thunder. But those are just my thoughts. If you guys enjoyed this, tell me in the comments and maybe we can do a part 2. Make sure to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.